This orangutan secretly watched the keeper open the combination lock on the door. At once, he quietly memorized all the sequences for entering the code. When it was late at night, he quietly slipped out of the cage, then entered the password accurately, immediately followed by the staff passage to the roof of the zoo shed, and finally slipped quietly out of the shelter along the roof of the shed. However, Caesar was not trying to escape. Rather, he sneaked into the former owner's house in the night. He then opened the refrigerator in the corner. Inside were several bottles of modified neurotoxin. Caesar knew that this virus could produce evolution in chimpanzees, so he took the virus samples straight through to the shelter, then released the virus all while the chimps were sleeping. Soon after the night had passed, the keeper began to roughly wake up all the animals. However, what he didn't know was, today the orangutans all became very quiet, and each one's pupils turned green, and Caesar was squatting at the mouth of the passage, checking their pupils one by one. Only when they turned green would he let them out to move around, and Caesar's pupils that were already green. At this time, they had become even more turquoise. However, the curator who saw this scene was very puzzled, only to see that the normally noisy orangutans had actually gathered together in an orderly manner today. However, what can a group of animals do? So, the curator did not take this matter to heart. At night, all the orangutans returned to their cages to rest. But the keeper, who was locking the cage, suddenly saw Caesar standing outside alone. So he immediately asked another keeper to bring a gun. As soon as he realized the danger, he would shoot him. Just as he was about to use the electric baton to drive Caesar into the iron cage, Caesar actually grabbed the breeder's electric stick. Immediately followed by the next second. The horrifying scene in front of him not only dazzled the two keepers, even the orangutans locked in the cage were shocked. However, before they could react, Caesar didn't hesitate to punch the keeper over. He then directly dragged him to the cage and locked him up, immediately followed by releasing all of his kind in the cage. However, Caesar soon realized something was wrong. Once the humans discovered the abnormality here, he and all of his kind would once again be reduced to test subjects. Then, under Caesar's leadership, the orangutans immediately broke through the glass dome of the zoo, leading them on a wild goose chase towards the city center. A huge black gorilla suddenly re-entered the zoo. He physically knocked down the bars holding the orangutans. The orangutans pull out the thick iron bars on the fence and follow Caesar as he evacuates to the forest. At this point, an injured orangutan unfortunately fell behind. It happened to be caught red-handed by animal control officers. The men dragged the injured orangutan into the car and were about to drive off. Immediately afterwards, Caesar picked up another javelin and viciously threw it at the man's car again. The moment the javelin went through the hood, suddenly an ape appeared in the rear. Straight away, he tore off the car door and dragged the wounded ape out of the car. After that, the javelins fell like rain. On the other side, the red-haired gorilla and Black Diamond saw two police cars speeding towards them. The orangutan immediately grabbed the manhole cover. Black Diamond also picked up the street lamp as soon as he could. With that, Caesar led the legions of orangutans to climb onto a trolley headed for the Golden Gate Bridge. But just as they were about to cross the bridge on their way to the Sequoia Grove, suddenly they realized that there was a group of police cars blocking the way ahead, and behind them, a group of police officers surrounded them. So Caesar immediately ordered the troops to split into 3 groups. It had One Eye take the young gorillas to climb up the bridge along the chains and go around from above. Then it had the red-haired gorilla with the long arms jump off the bridge with its race, wandering from below all the way to the enemy's rear, and the black vajayjays of immense strength, under Caesar's command, rushed straight at a bus that was straddling the middle of the road. The black vajayjays easily toppled the bus, using the bus as a shield to block the police fire. It advanced all the way to where the barricade was set up before stopping. The police had no choice but to call off the firepower when they saw this. Just when the police were at a loss, a running horse suddenly appeared in the fog. Then Caesar, who was hiding on the horse's back, rose violently. With a command, it instantly jumped down countless chimpanzees from above, pouncing the crowds that blocked the way to the ground in droves. At the same time, the red-haired orangutans that swung over from under the bridge suddenly also jumped onto the bridge from the fences on both sides, starting to counterattack the humans who tried to block the way. Immediately afterward, the orangutans behind Caesar rushed over to join the fight. Soon, the tiny humans were defeated by the orangutans. They threw away their weapons and turned to flee, but just at that moment, a helicopter suddenly appeared on on the bridge and began to indiscriminately strafe the apes on the bridge. Seeing this, Caesar rushed to hide in a car. It grabbed a thick, heavy chain and jumped out of the car and threw it at the helicopter. At that moment, the sheriff on the passenger side shoots at Caesar. Seeing this, Black Diamond didn't hesitate to step forward and push Caesar away. It used its body to help Caesar block the fire while charging out at the helicopter, although he was shot several times in the chest, but still bravely rushed into the cockpit. It directly knocked the helicopter down with its people. Seeing this, Caesar recklessly ran forward, immediately dragged Black Diamond down from the airplane to take a look, but found that Black Diamond, who had always been brave and fierce, in the end, it left it because of its injuries. At this time, there is suddenly a person in the helicopter to Caesar for help. Caesar walked up and took a look. Surprisingly, it was the owner of the genetic company that caused all this. Caesar withdrew the hand that had been extended. Turning back, he nodded his head to the one-eyed man on the side, and without hesitation, One Eye, who had been experimented on by the gene company, stepped forward and kicked the helicopter. Caesar then finally crossed the bridge with its legion of orangutans as well, running towards the grove of redwoods that represented freedom, and Jack, in an effort to talk Caesar back home again, he chased him to the sequoia grove in a police car. Confronted by Jack, who was bent on bringing him home again, Caesar looked aside at the apes. Apparently he needed to choose between the two. Caesar then slowly approached Jack's ear.
Caesar is home.
Jack didn't expect Caesar to speak. After calming down, Jack was like a parent who saw his child grow into a man, finally letting go of Caesar to go live his own life. Caesar then climbed the tallest redwood tree as usual. Before leaving, he took a faraway look at the city where he had lived.